winter, my lips are chapped, but we're pressing on. Hello everyone, welcome to another card video. Today I have some new goodies from the latest My Favorite Things release. So let's take a look at the stuff I'm gonna play with, and then we're gonna make a fun circus card. Let me tell you how I feel about clowns. Yeah, clowns and sharks are kind of like in the same friend zone, like not friends at all. I really think that Stephen King and Steven Spielberg should get together and start paying for my mental illnesses. No. I have the You're the Main Event stamp set, the Arched Happy Birthday die, and the coordinating dies to the stamp set. This is what I'm going to use as a sentiment, but the stamp set itself does have quite a few really cute sentiments. I adore the artistic style of this stamp set, and this train is going to be a big hit. I know there are a lot of train collectors out there. This is the original card that I made. It has a more primary color feel than the one we're going to make on camera. I started out with these 3 cardstocks for the original. Primary as in bolder, brighter. This is Gina K's Red Hot, Spellbinder, Summer Days, and MFT Caribbean Sea. But we're going to kind of tone it down a little bit with Gina K's Sea Glass, Fun Stamper's Journey, Pineapple Smoothie, and Spellbinder's Dahlia. We're going to just, change it up a little bit, make it a little pinker, a little less saturated. I used Wild Honey, Distress Oxide ink, and Wild Honey for both of the cards. I really liked how the backgrounds turned out, so I just simply did not want to change it. I concentrated a lot of the color towards the inside of the circle, making it kind of radiate out, so it's really concentrated on the inside and it kind of gets lighter as you go out from the stencil. I did use both a blender brush and a ink blending tool because I think they distribute the ink differently, both tools. And this is the big reveal. I love how it looks. We're going to add some turquoise splatters with Distress Oxide Peacock feathers. This is a bling ring, y'all. It's pretty awesome. And then this happened. If you guys have seen my last video with the strawberry and how I wanted big splatters, where were you last week? So luckily I have this extra background that I did last night, and we're just going to let that other one sit in timeout for a few minutes. We're using the Heffy Doodle circle frames, skinny circle frames, to make a center a little bit bigger, whiter center that I can pop up. We're using Archival. That's my multiple personalities. Ranger Archival ink in jet black. We're going to do some faux watercoloring. I'm stamping onto a piece of why do I always do that? Strathmore Bristol smooth white cardstock. And just like before the original card, I used like a brighter tone. I'm just kind of like toning it down just a little bit with a pinker and a brighter blue, and using the same exact yellow, actually. This is what I call faux watercoloring, because really I'm not using water. I'm using water-based markers, so that counts, right? These are Tombow dual brush markers, and I have a blender pen. I use a few of them. I actually really like the Stampin' Up one, and the one that Tombow gives in all of their dual brush marker packs. It's a really great blender pen. I'm mostly putting the ink directly to paper and then blending it out with the blender pen, but I do have a couple swaths of the same colors that I'm kind of picking up with the blender pen occasionally to blend things together. I also always have a spare piece of paper. Really, to me, it doesn't matter what kind of paper you're using to scratch things off. I'm literally using it to clean off the tip of the blender pen when I want it to be clean. This is one thing that I wish I was better at. I seem to clean off the tip far more than I really need to. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a obsessive thing that I'm doing, but I wish that I could hold on to the ink longer and be more thrifty. Okay, once all of my images are colored, I now need to use these very intricate dies to cut out my images. So this is what I did to help me make this happen. I cut them both from copy paper first, and then I took the copy paper layer, lined it up where I want my die to sit, and nested it in that groove of the copy paper and taped it all down very thoroughly before running it through my die cutting machine. And that did it. It did it. It's not always perfect. It's not perfect. Perfection is overrated. But like all these little tiny flag parts and pieces, they all ended up about where they needed to be. You can keep these copy paper layers in with your dies, wherever you're storing your dies, and use them every time, over and over and over again. I mean, eventually the copy paper might tear and you'd have to make a new one, but you get me. So I needed to do the same exact thing with this bear because he's riding this unicycle with spokes, and I always get spokes really bad. So I lined it up and it worked perfectly. This green tape is highlighter tape from Amazon, and it is my new favorite die cutting machine accessory. This is the Arched Happy Birthday die, and I'm going to cut it out of Dahlia and Pineapple Smoothie. The Happy Birthday is getting cut out of Pineapple Smoothie, but I'm going to keep all of these and also cut it from Sea Glass, Gina K Sea Glass. That way we can do the same alternating letters with the blue and the yellow on top of the red base or the pink base. The shadow of this die kind of bubbles the letters so you can see where to put the H and where to put the next letter and how they kind of fit in there, all nested like. But you could totally use a template just like I did with the other copy paper, cut it from copy paper and use it as a map so that you know exactly where to put your letters. I just kind of throw them on there. In fact, while I was creating this, you will see me mess it up. I wasn't feeling good. But I messed it up, but I figured it out and found a way to make it right again. You will see me somewhere in the middle of birthday. It's got to be coming up soon. But I was putting the, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. How hard is that? Well, I screwed it up. So I just glued other colors on top of the wrong color to make it the right color. In fact, it would be kind of cool if you put different levels of dimension for each letter. Like have some high, really thick letters and some low. That would be kind of cool. Maybe next time. What I did fail to show you about this sentiment is I did spray it with my shimmer spritzes, my Imagine Crafts Frost and Sparkle. I shimmered the heck out of it. Okay, this is what the background looks like. Isn't it pretty? Then we popped up the circle in the middle. I just really wanted something to make it pop up a little bit, just to make it a little bit more interesting looking. Then I have lots of adhesive squares. It's been a few days since I made this card, which is on the downside of when you film something and then wait a really long time to edit or voice over it. You start to forget how you made the stinking card. But I think I really used like one layer of dimension here. I used some things to liquid adhesive straight to the cardstock, like these stars. These stars are from the Blast Off Buddies. I just liked how wonky they were. They're not perfect. They're kind of irregular stars. So I wanted them to be in my background. Yep, nothing too crazy here. I used scrapbook adhesives, foam squares to pop up all of the images. And that is done. And like always, it's mounted on an A2 size fog card base. Here are the two cards right next to each other so that we can compare and contrast. I love both cards. I think they're both wonderful. I hope you enjoyed making a card with me today. Find me, find MFT on social media. Let me know which color palette you prefer in the comments. Plus, I just like it when you say hi. Until next time. As for you, big splatters, I'll make you into something, okay? Later.